Welcome back to the Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast, everybody. This is your co-host, Tyler Y'all, and today I am with
Chris Kellum.
And our special guest today is
Kelly Roberts.
Thanks so much for coming on, Kelly Roberts. And as some of our listeners may know, every once in a while we will do a series that's called People Over Politics. This is going to be one of those episodes. So we appreciate you coming on. But before we get too far into it, we're going to go to Chris real quick and talk about what we're sipping on today.
So if you're watching the video version, you can see we have this Old Forester 1910. For those who don't know, there's a long storied history behind like the whole Old Forester and like their Whiskey Row series. I'm not getting into that today, but I am going to tell us a little bit about this version that we're sipping on. Nose-wise, it has some of our favorite stuff. So sticky toffee, apple, a hint of roasted coffee beans, which I know you love. Taste, it should be oddly like some sweet oatmeal raisin cookies, some classic cinnamon, spice, nutmeg, and mocha. And it does have a slightly dry finish on there, which I think is pretty interesting. I think I'm excited because I haven't had Old Forester in so long, but I will say it's
good stuff.
Favorites.
Yeah, this is solid.
So, Old Forester, a classic. It's been around forever. A little bit different than you. You're new to the area, right?
That was a great transition.
Right. The king of segues
That's
over
one,
here.
that was perfect. Yeah, I am new. I've been in Wilmington for about 5 years.
Okay.
Just like most people, I thought I'd come here for the beach. I lived downtown thinking I would leave downtown. I love it there, man. So I've been there for 5 years.
Okay.
And that's kind of how this whole thing started rolling. But I will say, when I was doing government work up in Washington, D.C., I would drive down here. It's only, 5.5, 6 hour drive.
Yeah, it's not too
Yeah, so I would come down to from DC frequently when we started having family summer vacations here. So I've been around Wilmington, I would guess, since 2011.
I like to see that.
And the traffic was not that bad back then.
No.
I do remember that.
Yes. I mean, I've been here my whole life. And I sound like that old dude. I'm like, the traffic back in my day. Like, I do understand that traffic does get worse when you add a lot more people to the area, but I know that there's ways to like fix that and get around that. I know that's something that you've looked into and
Yeah. So I spoke when we had our candidate forum. I mentioned intelligent traffic systems. That is a little bit of an upgrade, and the state owns a lot of the lights here. However, they have approved that budget. All they need is somebody to push it forward. You guys have to wait till 2030 for anything to happen, unless you vote me in. Then we can get that pushed in. Adaptive traffic systems is what you guys need. What it is, it adapts to the flow of traffic, and it's not that hard to understand. It stays green if there's a lot of cars. That's pretty much it, right? The problem is you have to cluster the systems, because if you have one light that's adaptive, another light that's not adaptive, then the other light that's not adaptive gets stalled, and you have traffic on that street now. So you have to do it in clusters.
that makes sense.
Yeah, but we all know where the bad traffic is.
Right.
Yes.
So where would you put it at? What area of
I mean,
town?
There's a few areas in town. Obviously, College and Oleander
College is my main one, dude.
is huge. And then, because I'm on the north side of town, so Gordon and Market, like this, that segue, especially like the military cutoff.
Yeah.
It's right there.
bypass.
If anything could use an adaptive traffic signal,
Yes.
it's that, man, right? So there's ways around it.
Mhm.
But when you're talking about density, I think when people do city planning, you talk about walkability, which is great. Downtown doesn't even have a grocery store.
Nope.
That's a
I've
3-mile drive. We had to drive 3 miles to go to the grocery store.
Which is the closest one for you?
Food Line.
And the one up Market Street or the one in Castellane?
No. The other way on Gordon.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you go Harris Teeter's only a little bit further down the street, but it's 2.8 miles, something like that, roughly.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Just kidding. It's exactly 2.8. I'm a numbers guy.
That's like,
Was that we all
yeah, I remember, so when it comes to like voting in such, it's typically in a 2-year cycle. And we had talked about this with one of our friends a couple years ago about like, it is a food desert downtown. Like once you pass a certain spot, you're hitting bodegas, and those are
No
not
doubt.
going to give you what you need.
Yeah. So a lot of that, from what I found, is insurance. If they put a grocery store downtown, and they approved one at one point in time, then it kind of stalled out.
Right.
The insurance is the thing that really keeps them from doing that. You've got theft, you've got crime, which kind of brings me to the whole reason, another segue, brings me to the whole reason I started running for city council is we have a lot of unreported crime downtown. I know that crime reported has gone up 16%. Think all the stuff that's happened that no one talks about. It's constant. We're talking panhandling, minor stuff, vandalism. I'll tell you a vandalism story that's going to jar you here in a second. But stuff that people don't hear about and stuff that people don't see unless you're there. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but there's no districts for city council in Wilmington that you have to live in.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas in larger, and this is only a 55 square mile city. So I kind of get it, and you get the best candidate forward.
Yeah.
But I feel like downtown's forgotten about a little bit.
I think so.
I could agree with that.
Like I think that it's a spot where you go downtown to visit, but you forget that like people live there. Like,
Yeah.
and not in a bad way. Like I
Yeah.
go downtown, and I'm like, oh, like that's a really pretty building, but like I don't always think of, oh, like this is a whole neighborhood for like there's thousands of people that live down here.
Yeah, man. Those condos above Ruth Chris are like $1.8 million.
No way. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's wild. Before we get even too far into it, one of the main things that makes you different is your background too. So do you mind just going through your background a little bit, that the main parts that make you different from all these
Yeah. So the
candidates?
first thing I think is I'm the coolest candidate. Second one is I'm a military veteran. I'm the only veteran running for city council.
Yeah.
And I have a technology background.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different than, there's nothing against real estate agents, it's fine, but a lot of these dudes do planning, like planning commission, real estate developer. There's a common theme amongst Republican or Democrat candidates in the city,
Mhm.
which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if we're going to do a system that doesn't have districts and we're picking the best amount of people, you would want a variety of people.
Right.
You need somebody who's technical. We don't have anybody.
Yeah.
So I do cybersecurity. I didn't do that in the Navy. I think a lot of people think I did.
I just assumed that.
No, man, I was
Wow.
all testosterone in my 20s. I boarded ships, carried guns. I mean, I wanted all the smoke. So
wow.
I did
Yeah.
nothing to do with computers. And then I got a little bit older. I think I was 33 years old, and I had a security clearance working in DC on smart building systems.
Right.
And I got approached by a recruiter to say, hey, do you think you'd do cybersecurity and networking? I was like, what is that, man? I don't know. And I took an exam, like an aptitude test, and they were like, dude, you'd be good for this. So I did it and just flew with it, man. And that's why I started coming down and visiting Wilmington about that time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I've worked for DEA, FBI, CIA, DOD. Did I say DEA already? Yeah,
Yes.
DEA. Yeah, their radio systems went down one time
No way.
from all across the country, dude. They couldn't communicate at all. They called me to fix it. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm pretty high up
That's
there.
neat, yeah.
And I worked with Cisco Government Solutions through that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was a contractor for these 3-letter agencies.
Gotcha.
So I'm not just a guy who does cybersecurity. I'm not a cybersecurity analyst. I've got 27 security analysts that work beneath me. So I'm pretty high up in the food chain. And I think that we need a network infrastructure commission to look at our, I guess, overall rating for, we need like penetration tests, first of all.
Right.
So we need a rating to see how we're doing cybersecurity wise. Right now, there's no one to do that. Other cities do have that.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we can implement. And I talked to the mayor about this and he agrees actually.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think that's what we're going to try to do.
That's neat.
I think that's like Wilmington is a small city and everyone wants it to stay small. And I'm like, you can't stop growth.
You can't stop it, dude. It's an urban environment at this
Yep.
moment, right? It's
See,
not.
So you have to make those changes.
And also, man, so for North Carolina, 2025 has been the worst year for for municipalities.
Mm.
Municipalities are the easiest targets, guys. They
Nice.
set it and forget it. You know what I mean? It's like a crock pot. They just leave there. They just let it go. They just wait. And every other, the banking systems, high level governments, we're constantly updating code versions, constantly looking at the infrastructure. It's a never ending job, guys.
Right.
And sometimes these municipalities will leave it, and it's not like a mass person in Russia says, I'm going to hack Wilmington, North Carolina. It's not how it works, man. It's automated scripts, automated bots, and they're just looking for the weak points. They lost millions of dollars up in Raleigh last year,
No way.
but they don't have to report that till a year later. So
Oh wow.
yeah. And you're talking social security numbers, data, personal finance records, stuff on all of our citizens. And we just,
Right.
I think we need a commission, and I could lead that commission to make sure we have the right engineers on that.
Oh, wow. That's neat.
Yeah.
Things you never think of until it unfortunately happens.
Until it happens, right? Yeah. It's
That's
like
wild.
driving down the street without a spare tire, really.
Yeah. Since we're talking about all the things that make you different, one of the other things that makes you different too, you don't have an endorsement from either the Republicans or the Democrats.
That's right. That's right. Me and Clifford both. Clifford doesn't have one either.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
okay.
right. Yeah.
But yeah, so essentially I signed up for city council. I was independent. The majority of voters in this county are independent.
That sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we look at our things on a national level, but if you look at these things that we have going on locally, I think you'll probably become a Republican. If you write down on a piece of paper the values that you have, what you want from your tax dollars, I'm talking fundamental aspects, a police department, good hospitals. That's stuff that the Republican Party stands for. So it's not about the country club polo wearing Republican that people think, this is about your fundamental values. So I wanted to run as a Republican, but I didn't tell them. So I just did it. It's a nonpartisan race. So I get a phone call like a month later. They're like, dude, are you running as a Republican? I was like, yeah. So they had no idea. It's kind of what happened.
Okay.
So I walk in there, I walk in the Republican headquarters. They're like, who the hell is this guy? I was like, yeah, Kelly Roberts, guys, you're going to know who I am. And it kind of divided. Half of them love me. Half of them were like, we don't really know this guy yet. And so they took a vote and it went against me. But the people that voted against me have since said, I wish I'd have known you, this and that and the other. Met some really cool. Dane Scalise, great guy.
Mhm.
So I think it's going to work in the future, but that's kind of how that played out, man.
I think something that you said too that you kind of went over pretty quickly, but I think is important. You were an independent. You sat down and you just kind of wrote out a pros and cons list on both sides.
Yeah, and I think
And
if the
kinda fell that
majority of
way.
people do that, you'll find yourself locally to be a Republican. This has nothing to do with Trump or all this stuff that you see in the media. If you write down your values, what you want out of your tax dollars locally, this is where people should vote, guys. This is where people should care more, and this is where people care less. And it blows me away.
Mhm.
I think it's because you hear the big cycle of that every 4 years, you got to go vote for president. And your brain just like, oh, well, I don't only have to think every 4 years. But in reality, like I said, every 2 years, we add
Really,
somebody
every
new.
year if you're looking at it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
so
'cause
true.
Your municipality ones are going to be on those off years where
Yeah,
you
I'm like,
really
there's
get
always
screwed.
something going up. And because I noticed this last year, I was like, oh, wait, there's something else going on. Like me and my wife showed up to vote and she was like, have you looked at the list of people that we're voting for? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a horrible, like,
Most people are, dude.
I'm like, and that's the honest truth. Like, we
Yeah.
should all get better at knowing what the people, like, getting to know these people. They spend months and months trying to get our attention, and we should at least give them more than like the 4 seconds it takes to color in there.
To just like color in a name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I'm hoping I get a lot of female votes who think they're voting for a girl. Kelly.
Well, since we're on that trajectory anyway, with what makes the national news versus what's actually important here, what are people actually voting for city council of Wilmington? So like we discussed before the podcast, like you're not voting on tariffs, obviously,
Yeah.
on this. Like, what are you voting for?
Well, they can make minor laws within the city limits, such as the camping ban that passed. We could do what I would propose is some sort of loitering clause, things like that. But the majority of what your city council is going to do is approve or deny a budget. And these are your tax dollars that are going through, and they need to be spent on the proper things that you would want them spent on.
Mhm.
And in my mind, I guess the basic services that you would expect is going to be police force, fire department, teachers, good schools, right? Stuff that a 12-year-old could tell you, right? Well, we've gotten away from those core values. We're spending on all kinds of other stuff, man.
So many.
I mean, you could name something. I'm sure we have a spending budget for it.
I
Right.
saw something. It's a town north.
Oreo
of us.
cookie fund.
Ooh.
No, we're not putting that.
They were voting. They had money set aside for a council retreat, and it was like a couple.
right.
Like it was thousands of dollars to send the city council
To
go.
like get the councilmen
I
to
think
start
it was
liking one
tens of
another.
thousands of dollars.
Yeah, like it was thousands of dollars
Yeah.
to send them to a retreat to get to know each other better.
Really?
And I'm like,
thinking
yeah,
Outer
that
Banks.
could be
it was like-
used.
Did you guys hear? Well, yeah, I don't think you did because we went over who I am a little bit when
Yeah.
I walked in. But I spoke at the Power Breakfast, and I was the first one to talk about this. I was the first one to talk about the police pay and how low it is.
Mm.
You guys know anything about it? It's cool if you don't.
I don't.
All right, man. So basically, we pay the police force $10,000 to $12,000 less per year in Wilmington than they could make in Leland.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of the surrounding counties are like that as well. We are really bad. Like we're under market value for
Yeah.
North Carolina. They like to say it's a bidding war, but it's simply not. We're just under market value. So that's one of the things we talk about, your core values that you have.
Yeah.
That for the people that are independents, I get it. Locally, it's okay to be Republican locally because you need that police force. We're supposed to have 330 police officers according to the standard. We
Right.
budgeted for 280, I think. We have 204. We can't even get people to work for us. We got the money to pay them. They're like, "No, I'm out. I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going to Leland.
Because we're not paying enough.
We're not paying enough." It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So that's why we have a downtown police task force. Sounds really cool. Guess how many officers are on that?
12.
A few dozen.
4.
Oh,
Sheesh.
You see where we're at, gentlemen? See where we're at?
And I feel like it's because you said you've moved down about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And you've seen kind of that transition. Even when I was a kid going out downtown, I could actively walk downtown and see police officers. Like I could see a presence. And I went down like, I guess a couple nights ago, Friday night. I was expecting to at least see like some lights or something. I walked like 3 blocks, didn't see one cop.
You didn't see Roan Cop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what spurred this whole thing for me as well. We don't have enough police officers. When I'd spoken my WHQR radio interview, I said specifically we're looking for crime prevention, not crime prosecution.
Mhm.
And that's an important fact because we're not looking to fill our jails up. We're looking to deter crime. If we can deter crime with police presence, like you said, isn't that the whole goal of paying taxes in the first place?
And I think
Right.
specifically, like you said, adding a little bit more fun so these people can make some money and not worry. Because, like, if you're a police officer and you're working 12-hour shifts and then you have to go get a second job to help
Yeah.
pay for everything, then you're not going to be focused and actually want to be out there and make a presence. I'd be sitting in my card if I'm not getting paid enough.
Yeah. And so I was one of the first ones to advocate for social workers to go out and talk to what you would consider like, I don't know, like a unhoused person or someone that's kind of mentally unstable. We have a lot of those downtown. And I told you I was going to tell you a story that happened yesterday. It happened Saturday.
Okay.
We had one of our crazy people downtown goes to do you know I believe in Wilmington mural down there? It's on Princess and 2nd Street.
Yeah.
Well, a little girl survived cancer. The whole community pitched in for her medical bills and they made a mural of her because she survived. And there's like giraffes and teddy bears and stuff like that. This psychopath walks by and just rips the teddy bear off the ground for no reason and then leaves. Well, because I talked some of my friends into having cameras on their outside bars and restaurants, we have clear pictures of the guys. So I'm talking 4K. I know what this dude looks like. I know him. I feel like I should know his name.
Yeah.
And so I filed a police report, uploaded the pictures to the police report. Do you think I've gotten a call back yet?
No.
Probably not.
I have not. These police officers are busy. They have stuff to do. They have, assault cases, things that are just kind of taking over their time. With a 12-hour shift, they get 20 calls a day because we're understaffed.
Yep.
And so the ball starts rolling. It becomes a snowball, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. We had a guy walking down the street with a machete one day,
Oh, wow.
big ass machete.
Just cuz.
But it's not illegal, is it? But it's like somebody could talk to the dude at least, right?
You're like, why are you
Right.
doing
It's
this?
like,
Like, sir, what's going on, sir? So we've got a lot of, it's not bad until it gets bad. And I see this is pattern recognition, gentlemen. I see things getting worse. I see less police force, less police presence. And that's why I'm running for city council. Ultimately didn't get the Republican endorsement because they had no idea who I was when I walked in.
Yeah.
Understand.
And that's kind of how that went down.
So just to kind of recap, even running as a Republican, you still want social workers being the first people of contact.
Yeah.
You still want to pay police better. You still want to pay our government employees better so we bring the best people in. Basically, when people think Republicans and conservatives, they think we're not paying taxes for anything, police brutality up and down the streets. So, like, you're telling me it's different than that.
Yeah, it is different than that. And I think if most people, like I said, write your values down on paper, what you want, I think a lot of people will be Republicans without even knowing it. And even if you're a Democrat, even if you're, undecided, it's okay to vote Republican in your local elections, because these are things that matter to you. These are the ideas that people should study more and more, and
Yes.
they simply don't, unfortunately.
It's like you said, it's unfortunate because there's so many things locally that actually affect us, like versus all the big stuff. Because like we see the news, we know who's running for like these big elections, but we don't know who's running locally. You
Right.
should know who's running for your city council. You should know who's running for your like any of your state, like your senate and whatnot. And it's just things we miss.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. There's not enough media focus on it. Now, I'm not saying I want to do any more public speaking. Dude, I'm worn out, man. My first time public speaking ever in my life was in front of 600 people at this thing called Power Breakfast.
Oh yeah.
I was so nervous, man. Now I'm good. It's been like 6 weeks of public speaking
So-
twice a week. So I'm good now. Smooth butter. But I was nervous for a
Thrown
while,
to the
man.
fire.
Yeah, thrown right into the fire, man. Yeah.
So when are elections for those people who are
I think it's a
Now.
great question. You
Yeah.
can go right now to the library in Mayfair,
okay?
and you can do that up until November 4th.
Okay.
November 4th, there's 22 election sites in the city, but there's no reason to wait. I mean, do it within your own free time. The problem is it's 9 to 5. Listen, call me if your boss doesn't let you off work. I'll talk to him. You should get an hour to go vote.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, that's always been wild to me. Like, oh, you gotta work. You can't go.
Can't go vote.
Yeah. You gotta
What,
take
bro?
a day off to
Uh,
go get your vote in. And I'm like,
This shouldn't
I'm
work
still
like
a big
that.
believer that it should be a national holiday for every election.
Well,
like,
I kind of
everyone
think that
gets
they
it.
should have voting on the weekends. Like,
Well, yeah, definitely
Yes.
that too.
what are we
yeah.
doing, man? Like, makes it more difficult to vote.
Right.
I get it's the library, but
yes,
fundamentally speaking, are we trying to get more people to vote?
correct.
right.
I
So-
think it could also be volunteers, or
Yeah.
Also, it's the library in Mayfair.
So I think they're also trying to
It's
prevent
traffic
like,
jam waiting to happen.
Right.
It's a traffic.
I almost
jam.
got ran over there on a Thursday at like 2 p.m. There's
I believe it.
people everywhere.
That's another spot. Like they're consistently changing the traffic, and like they're finally building that pass through. I'm like,
Mhm.
hopefully this will help
Yeah,
a little bit.
well, it'll help a little bit. That's an area that definitely needs some adaptive traffic systems and just traffic systems in general. There's a lot of places that don't have any lights that should. Roundabouts are huge. Roundabouts save so much time. So there's a lot of things from a civil engineering perspective that we could do. But I think my technical knowledge of these adaptive traffic systems would be the number one thing that would help us immediately without having to do more construction on the roads, which we all know makes you sit in traffic longer.
Yes.
I mean, we've got an influx of people without the proper foundation, right? So if you don't build a proper foundation, you keep adding apartments on apartments. I'm not anti-development. I'm just saying we need to develop outwardsly. We don't have room for any more density at the moment. That's what I think.
Another topic that's been pretty big in the media lately is the social district. And we've interviewed a lot of people that are in that area of the social district. And as a drinking podcast ourselves, what are your thoughts on that? Have you been involved in that at all?
Yeah, so I got invited to the meetings for those. I've been to every social district meeting. I've heard from the citizens and I've heard from the business owners.
Mhm.
And what my conclusion is I'm pro social district. It's very low crime. You have people with baby strollers that go out and have a couple IPAs with their kids, and it's over at 5. So you don't have a lot of problems between 12 and
yeah.
5 p.m. It brings hundreds and hundreds of people. The biggest concern that I heard from the citizens is the parking.
Mm.
They can't park in front of their own home because hundreds of people have taken up the streets.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that.
And so that was the main I mean, I'm talking up and down parking was the main thing I heard of. No one ever talked about crime. No one ever talked about noise complaints. That was the number one thing that I heard from the citizens.
Yeah.
See, and
Is there a solution for that?
They come up with several solutions. They were talking about busing people in from the parking garage.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're working on it. But
Awesome.
there
Okay.
something has to be done. If you've been to that area, you're parking in front of someone's house. Like
Right,
there's not
yeah.
a lot of parking there.
And that was before the social district.
Yeah, that's the point. But even places that don't sell alcohol are really benefiting from this. You got an ice cream shop. I think it's Killen's Ice Cream over there also. Or no,
Or
it's
Blotty's.
Boom Blotty's. Boom Blotty's
Yeah.
over there. You've got the pizza shop. They don't sell alcohol. You've got teenage kids. And if you follow my campaign at all, I want teenage kids. I have a 20-year-old daughter. She's gonna be 21 pretty soon. So I want her to be able to drink safely. I want our
Right.
kids to be able to have fun downtown. And that offers a great spot for them. During the day, it's fun. Everybody's making more money. It's an all-around thumbs up for me.
I like it. I mean, my thought on parking, and I'm not running for anything, is if it wasn't specifically to just 2 weekends or like 1 weekend, it would spread it out and people would show up, be a little bit more balanced.
Man, I thought about that too. I thought about that.
Because
If
like
it
every
wasn't
time,
such a concert type event,
Mhm.
yeah,
yeah.
because anytime there's a festival downtown, or like, because it's usually like the first weekend or last weekend, traffic is horrible.
Right.
Parking is horrible.
Even the concerts at Live Oak.
God, yes. So like if you spread it out and you give them a consistent option, then they're gonna be like, oh well, I don't have to go on the
Yeah, it
first
doesn't
and
feel like a
second,
novelty.
second and third. Like I can show up.
Yeah, I think they're asking for more Saturdays.
I would
They
love
are.
that.
I think it starts in February, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But pro social
Makes sense.
district.
Thank you. Love to hear that.
I'm pro this whiskey. That's great.
Yeah, you do a good job. Thanks, Chris.
You know, one of the first times I had this one was at Rebellion.
Oh yeah.
Have you been there yet?
Man, my sign's all over that place.
See,
Yeah.
Rebellion was one of the first people that they really got behind me and made me feel like I could do this. They put my name in the window. The owners are ex-Navy. They're very
Mhm.
supportive. They understand that we have minor crime problems in downtown. We understand that businesses are down 30% in downtown, and
Oh wow.
30%.
I didn't realize
They're
that.
doing numbers that they should be doing in February in the summertime.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's out of control. You guys, after this podcast, go down there.
Yeah.
Go to Rebellion. Ask them about me.
See, I go to Rebellion every now and then because I hate trying to park anywhere. I'm one of those people, if I do 2 laps and there's not a parking space, I'm going home.
Hit the gas real hard.
Yeah, I'm like, we're gone. But so we go to the Commodore all the time because it's a little bit closer to the house.
Love
Uh,
Commodore.
Shout out. All of them have, if you don't know, Commodore, Rebellion, Fox's Hole in the Wall, all same owner, different menus.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
What's your favorite
Yeah.
dish at Commodore? Mine's the meatballs.
See, I had the meatball. Yes. I'm a person, like, if I'm getting a meatball, like, I expect, my brain says there should be, like, noodles or something with it.
Yeah, I
So
got
it's hard for me to just eat meatballs. But their mid-rats,
Yep.
like, just a tray of fries with just sauce and lettuce and
good.
some,
It does sound good.
oh, it's so
Did you ever eat
delicious.
mid-rats when you were in the military?
No.
So that's a thing in the Navy. We'd be on watch overnight. Not everybody, but the people that were in Combat Central always had a 24-hour watch. So I was in Combat Central. If you have the 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. watch, they give you a food called mid-rations. It's the middle of the night, and it's called mid-rats. That's where that's from.
That's what I
That's
assumed
fun.
the name came from. I don't think they were as good as what they have at Commodore then.
Commodore's better than the Navy, I assure you. I assure you.
So we've talked about a few points. Is there any other like main talking points that you're like, I know you're newer here, so you've seen a lot of the growth that we've had. And is there anything that you think that you'd have a good point on being in the city council and something that you could help with?
Yeah, I think, well, just the traffic, paying our police force, how it's gotten here is perplexing. It's absolutely perplexing that we've gotten to this point with our police pay, right? Our first responders need to get paid a little bit more. We need to make sure we're taking care. Here's something we haven't talked about. Our veterans in the mental health capacity. We have 27 social programs that brings people from different counties all the way down to Myrtle Beach. We are kind of a hub for mental health, substance abuse. You guys had a big problem with the opioid crisis about 10 years ago. That's kind of what spurred this. And so now we are a wonderful city for people to help themselves. What we need to do is make sure that we're prioritizing locals, make sure we're prioritizing veterans with PTSD. I see a lot of people that live underneath my building that they're not going to get it together, bro. It doesn't matter what happens, doesn't matter what goes on in their life. They are smoked. So they're going to need help. They need mental help. They're not causing problems. They're not causing crime. There's something wrong with these people. And I don't know how this one individual has been at the bottom of my building for 3 or 4 months. So no one's reached out to help him. And if they do, here's just something that people don't realize. They always have the point to refuse service. These are all volunteer programs. So these guys could go into these rehab centers or they could go into mental health for 8 weeks and then leave. So I don't know exactly that we should make them stay there. I'm not saying that. But I think that we need to prioritize our local people, and I do want to see veterans being prioritized. I don't want to see any homeless veterans. I don't.
Right.
I agree
Something
with that.
very near and dear to
I've
me.
always wondered about that too, because Wilmington, you're right, does have a lot of really good programs that are out there. Is it the city that's not kind of connecting these dots to help people get it, or is it primarily what you were saying there too, people just refusing the care?
Yeah, well, I
Or
think it's a
all-
little bit of both. I
Yeah.
think it's a little bit of some people staying there for years and years and years, and some people staying there for 2 weeks. And we don't have someone putting that together. This is funded from a state level, it's funded from a city level, and then it's also funded from a private level. Okay, so we don't have someone kind of looking over that umbrella. The only agency in the federal government that doesn't have to tell you what they're doing with their budget is the CIA. We're treating these guys like the CIA. Like they're getting their money, and we're just like, all right, like we don't know. So we need someone overseeing the funding for these programs. I don't think that should be a city official. I think that should be someone probably in the private sector who knows what's going on with this. But we need someone overseeing the entire budget and looking at the return on investment and making sure we're helping people, guys. Like we care about people, right? That's what we're here to do. And I just either we have too many people or our programs need more funding or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
we are overloaded. We've got between 800 and 1,000 homeless people in this city.
Oh wow.
So
That wouldn't be a surprise if it was more than that.
yeah,
But-
and these programs do a wonderful job. These programs do all they can. The day shelters let out and they come out at nighttime. So nighttime downtown is different than daytime downtown. So all my people watching the podcast, if you work downtown, you don't know downtown. You don't know downtown until the sun goes down. So yeah.
I know you've lived in quite a few big cities as well too. Anything that you can take away from those larger cities to implement down here?
Yeah, so we don't want to turn into the Charlotte epicenter. I don't know if you guys saw that. They lost $44 million. That was supposed to be the new hotness, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be it. And that's kind of what's happening downtown is we're losing our way. I've seen Austin, Texas lose their way. I've seen DC lose their way. And I don't want to wait until it's too late. So we need to get our social programs in order. We need to make sure that we're taking care of people the way they need to be taken care of. We need a loitering clause. Again, we're not trying to throw people in jail, but you shouldn't take your family to a restaurant, spend $200 and then get harassed. Our
Mhm.
kids shouldn't have to walk around. Our kids should be safe on the boardwalk. There should be police presence. And just having a presence like a police car or a police officer, we have the horses, right? I haven't seen a horse out past noon in forever.
I
Right?
was thinking about that for a while
Like-
too. Yeah.
Like we need the presence, guys. Like we need the presence to just deter someone who might be having a bad day. That's what I think.
I know presence works because when I was at ECU, there was always a cop car that was just parked around the corner at a gas station, and everyone would slow down because they were like, I don't know if he's actually there.
You know what I mean?
He's not.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's true. Just having that presence, like, to deter the front end and not actually just show up afterwards is really like the goal.
Yeah, that comes back to my military training. Like you've got to understand how to prevent riots from happening, crowd control, and that's all about just you nailed it, man. I mean, you got to have some presence. So that's what I'd like to see.
Where I grew up in Pennsylvania, it was Amish country.
Amish.
And, yeah, there was a police car out there. If you looked really closely, one of the tires was flat and there was just a dummy in there.
Slow your horse down, sir.
Right.
Slow it down.
Just a little bit.
I have a funny story about that. My mom loves Amish furniture.
Okay.
Mhm.
She will pay thousands. If anybody's listening to this, do not hit my mom up with Amish furniture. Everything in her house is Amish built by hand. She's very proud of this, and she will tell any guest about it.
That's amazing.
And it weighs like 1,000 pounds.
Oh,
It's the
it's
heaviest
dark.
like
What are they doing over there? I know who built the pyramids, the Amish.
right. That's why they're still there. Yeah. And all that furniture in there will be around for generations.
Forever.
It'll never go away.
Never over.
In a few thousand years, when they're still looking at the pyramids, so your mom's still
That's
gonna
right.
have that
That's
furniture
right. It'll
somewhere.
be there.
So I just want to say thank you for showing up.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
And like, it's just great to talk to somebody. And like Tyler said, it's people over politics. We want to get to know you and like what your goal is, because sometimes you just see a color, you're like red, blue, and you're like, oh, I don't want to talk to that guy. But in reality, we're all real people. We have something we want to for the most part, want the same thing.
I think that's what you'll find. We all want the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. There was a podcast I was watching a couple days ago, said exactly the same thing. We all essentially want very similar outcomes. We just have different means to getting there. So if you're just willing to break down that wall a little bit and be willing to meet the other person on the other side, we've had everyone on every walk of life onto this podcast. Every time I go to vote, it's the most colorful ballot out there. It has everyone from
Yeah.
every persuasion.
Especially in this city. I mean, the same people will fund Democrats and Republicans. It's
Right.
not, I don't know if it's a small city or it's just all going one direction towards, development, but there's a thin line between Republican and Democrat as far as who's getting their funding.
Mhm.
But
I can see that.
we all want the same things, right? So I agree with you. Thanks for having me, guys. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Where can people like look at your notes and kind of keep up with you and just read a little bit more about you?
So I do have Facebook.
Okay.
So go to Councilman Kelly J. Roberts Jr. on my Facebook. It's got a lot of the candidate forums that have been filmed on there. It's got the WHQR news interview. It's 4 minutes long, but it's an exciting 4 minutes. So you got to get
Yes.
on there.
It's
So
very informative.
it was, yeah. So get on there, listen to that. It'll give you a little bit of my policies. I try not to post too much on Facebook because I'm getting a lot of hate. I feel like if you say that you're a Democrat or Republican without people knowing you at all, I mean, they're out to get me, bro. Like for no reason, just like trolls. But I do have some pictures on there of the unhoused sleeping in the daytime downtown. I've got pictures of like where I live, kind of the reason this whole happened. I've got a backstory, a video of me saving a kid's life of why I started running for city council. So I'd encourage people to look on there and vote for me. You've got 3 city council votes. I just need one of them.
Thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you
Thanks.
so much for coming on,
Yes, sir.
all your time, and make sure do your research. Go out there and vote.
Catch you in the
Thank
next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.